You know that your addiction is harming your life, your job opportunities,
Morning, Facebook
and most
folks.
importantly, your loved ones.
How you be?
That's where we come in. The Kick Addiction Network specializes in getting you the help you need to beat addiction. Our network of treatment specialists can help you get clean and have the experience and track records to show for it. And if you're struggling with addiction and have private insurance, your help may be fully covered. Give us a call 24/7 at 1-800-KICK-ADDICTION. That's 1-800-KICK-ADDICTION.
The following program does not necessarily represent the views or opinions of the staff, management, or ownership of this station.
It's time to get on the right path with Right Path Real Estate Radio with Tom Perry. Get the answer to your question that's keeping you from taking action and succeeding today. Get ready. The guy that will put your fears behind you is on the air now. Taking calls at 713-785-1817. Toll free 877-881-0271. Now here's your host, Tom Perry.
Well, welcome to the show, everybody. It's Right Path Real Estate Radio. It's 713-785-1817 is our phone number. That's 713-785-1817. I'm live in the studio. Today is Thursday, November something. And let's see, it must be like the 18th, something like that. I mean, so let me pull up my phone. Hopefully it doesn't explode. It's one of those Samsung Note 7s. Yeah, today's the, November 17th. I've actually got one of my projects for today, just to show the Facebook folks. Got the new Samsung phone, just came in. It's not the Note 7. I think it's the Edge. That's what I'm going to go with. So gonna change from the Note 7 that's, has been recalled. So want to tell all the people that are listening, we're a real estate call-in show. We talk about finding deals. We talk about funding deals. We talk about marketing deals. We talk about buy and hold. We talk about buy, fix, and flip. We talk about wholesaling. So if you want to know about single-family, multifamily, commercial, we can talk about really any of those. If you want to talk about politics, we can do that. We're not really a politics show, but let's face it. The election, I think, is going to be really, really good for what we do. We can talk about the Houston market or other markets. What they do on the left coast or the right coast, is totally different than what we do here. I know we have people that tune in and watch us. There's lots of ways to tune in. You can listen to us on iHeartRadio. You can listen to us on TuneIn Radio. You can follow us on the Book of Faces. If you're following us on Facebook, or if you're not following us on Facebook, we actually broadcast live on video, and so you can see what the show looks like. It's you can see how small our studio is. It's not that big of a deal. We're going to be actually adding more decor to our studio, so I'm excited about that. Probably by this time next week, we'll have more vendor information behind us, so we're going to be using that real estate on the video screen. So it's all about real estate, right? So if you want to call in and ask questions, it is 713-785-1817. If you want to follow us on the Book of Faces, just go to Right Path Real Estate. That's our Facebook page. So it's facebook.com/Right Path Real Estate. Like us there. Every time we go live on the air, you'll be able to catch the video. And then it stays up. So if you miss a show or something like that and you want to watch it, then you can do that. Or if you want to listen to a podcast later, you can go to business1110ktek.com and go to the podcast section and just go under Right Path Real Estate, and you'll see all the shows there. You can listen to them at your convenience. And then some people said, hey, there's those podcast players. Can y'all download to those? Pretty soon we're going to be in on iTunes. All of our shows are going to be uploaded to iTunes, as I understand it. I'm not the person responsible for that. I know Veronica's going to be taking care of that. So, I was at an event last night, so my voice is a little bit hoarse for two reasons. One is, hey, good morning, Valley. Saying, in fact, I saw you last night, Valley. It was great seeing you at the show last night. Big networking event. Last one of the year was at the Redneck Country Club. Great venue, great chance to network, great chance to say hello to people that listen to the show or watch the show. Great chance to, just brainstorm about ideas. People that are approaching me last night saying, hey, this is where I'm stuck in my business. What can you tell me about this? One guy that I like a lot that he's won't say who he works for or anything like that, won't say who he is, but he said, look, this is a business I'm considering getting into. What do you think? And I said, I think that's going to create a good outcome for you, but what gets in the way of a great life is a good one. And so, I think if you go down that path, if getting to a great life were going to take you 5 years, and that you could get from where you are today to a great life in 5 years. Not that your life's not great now, but it's not like where you want it to be. That if you could get there in 5 years, that if you go down this other path of this business, that's going to interrupt the path to great. And you'll get to great still, but I think it's going to take you 8 or 9 years. It's a little bit like, I'm the founder of Fast Tracks, and Fast Tracks is a really great company. But what I realized is it was keeping me personally from getting to the place of great that I wanted to get to. And so I had to let go of something really good in order to grab a hold of something great. And no regrets there. I'm thrilled, that Jeff and Elijah are doing fantastic, and it's blessing them and doing really well for them. And it's also freed me up time-wise to do the things that I'm, a 10 at. That's the thing is, can you find what your 10 is? If we were to rate ourselves for, 10 different attributes or 8 different attributes, whatever the case may be, you're going to be a 2 or 3 at some things. You're going to be a 5 or 6 at some things. You're going to be an 8, 9, or 10 at some other things. But take the things that you're an 8 or 9 at, and if you can get to a 10 at those things, then capitalism really values excellence in the marketplace. Hey, good morning, JC. And so we don't really value mediocrity or poor performance. In fact, we won't pay half as much we'll pay like 1/10 for mediocre. And so if you can achieve excellence, you can earn 10 times what someone that is doing just mediocre is going to earn. So think about, surgeons. A mediocre surgeon is going to make mediocre wages. A top surgeon is going to make, they're going to blow it out of the park, right? Think about sports. If you look at what the median salary is in football or baseball or basketball versus what the top performers are. And, in baseball, it's all about statistics, right? If you look at a baseball player that bats like, let's say, 320 versus a baseball player that bats, like 280. I know that sounds like 40 points difference, but we're talking about 40 hits out of every 1,000. That's such a small margin of difference. It normally takes such a small margin of difference to go from median, which is where half are above and half are below, or even average, which is add all the numbers up and divide by the total number of numbers, right? That's the difference between median and average. Mean is the average, right? But the difference between that and excellence is very little margin typically. Now, that very little difference in margin might mean a huge difference in effort if you're doing it just on natural strength. But if you're doing it in your wheelhouse, the area that you're naturally strong in, then it's only, a little bit more work, right? So the mistake that I see a lot of people do is they work on the things that they're 2s or 3s at because they feel like that's the bottleneck. That's if you're thinking about an assembly line, then an assembly line can only go as fast as its slowest moving part. And so if you work on that weakness that you have, one is, if you're working on something that you're really weak at, it's not very much fun. I remember back in school, most people are either strong in math, that's me, or strong in English. And I was okay in English, but I was much, much better in math. And so I tended to, look forward to doing math homework more than I look forward to doing English homework. And so I would do more math homework, and then I got better at it. And because I got better at it, I liked it more because it was fun and because I was good at it. And so I would do it more, so I'd get better at it. So I liked it more, so I'd do it more, so I got better at it. You see that cycle, right? And so if you're working on the things that you're a 2 or 3 at to try and get better, man, that is some tough sledding. And so if you're doing that, and you got twice as good, now you're, instead of a 2 or 3, you're a 4, 5, or a 6, and you're still mediocre, and you're still not going to earn, top income. And so where people get confused is they apply the Henry Ford assembly line process of working on your weakest strength or the slowest moving part. Because if you can speed up in an assembly line, let's say that one machine can do 100 widgets an hour, and another machine can do 110 widgets an hour, and another machine can do 50 widgets an hour, and all of those machines are in the assembly line. Well, guess what? The assembly line can only go up to 50 widgets an hour. And if you replace that machine with a machine that will do 100 widgets an hour, your whole assembly line can speed up to what its lowest potential is, right? But it doesn't work that way when you're talking about personal development. When you're talking about personal development, if you got twice as good, because that's the difference between capitalism and assembly lines, right? Capitalism is only going to reward excellence. And so when you're working on your own attributes, work on the things that you're the strongest at. Work on the things that you're 8s or 9s at and make those things a 10. And then outsource to the people that are 10s at the things that you're 2s or 3s at. So that's one of the things I feel like has made, Houston House Buyers grow so quickly. And when I look at the success that we've been able to have, I feel very humbled and very blessed by that, what we've been able to do is Jason and I, the things that he's 8s, 9s, and 10s at, I'm weaker at, and the things that I'm super strong at, he's weaker at. Now, both of us overall, have a lot of great strengths, but it's great that we complement each other, and it creates a synergistic effect when you're working around complementary, people. And I think that's the hardest thing in business is to find somebody that you can create a synergistic effect, because each individual can only output a certain amount, right? And so if you can add a complementary person to your organization, then it's not 1 + 1 = 2. It's what you're looking for is 1 + 1 = 3. And so for those of y'all that don't know our story, we started, Houston House Buyers in July of 2013, and we started with marketing. And we marketed our first 90 days and didn't get any deals. And so after 90 days of marketing, we got our first deal. And our second and our third and our fourth and our fifth. We got 7 deals in 2013. Then we brought on our first employee in January of 2014. A very complimentary addition. Just an all-star, just a rock star in terms of what our industry is. And then we added a second employee in April. And so when we look back at December 31st of 2014, we had done 67 properties. So to go from 7 to 67, that's huge. Then 2015, we hit 90. 2016, we're on pace right now to do 120. So we're going into a break. We are a call-in show. Our phone number is 713-785-1817. I have to consciously say that slow. So see you on the other side of the break.
Mic's off.
Thank you.
From Conroe to Galveston, Orange to Flatonia, and all points in between, Texas General Insurance Agency is trusted by individuals
and
Nikki,
are you watching?
Across the great state of Texas. Whether you're
Now,
searching for
hey,
the best auto insurance in Fort Bend,
I thought
policy for a
Houston
Galveston
House
Beach
by
property, or coverage
which one did
for
you
your
say that
rental and
were?
investment homes in Houston,
I guess do you want to talk about it off air about the?
Understands
yeah, you want to text me?
Needs. Throughout the Lone Star State, their experienced and trusted independent
or you can call me real quick.
offer guidance to clients on the risk-based
I'll call you.
But actually, if you call me, Facebook's still going to pick it up.
And farm and
so
ranch
it'd probably be better if
okay, I'll just text you.
Yeah.
Service allows them to compare multiple markets, coverage, and price to give you the best possible value. Texas General Insurance Agency appreciates the opportunity to learn how they can work for you. Call one of their experienced agents today at 713-622-5977. That's 713-622-5977.
The one now.
Or go to texasgeneralinsurance.com.
Okay, I'm texting
Join
you
a group
something
of
else.
hardworking investors willing to share their knowledge and experience with others. We're not just another guru-driven club. We're a community of Houston's most successful real estate investors. Discover more at richradio.org. The Realty Investment Club of Houston, the Rich Club, has taught more real estate investors than any other program in the state. Join the Rich Club and become part of the most informed community in Houston. Quickly discover your investment options. Receive the information you need to get started.
Hey, JC, I saw the message that you sent to Jason, and Jason and I are going to talk about that. So we don't really have a formal program for anything like that right now. But
richradio.org is the quickest way to join the community and learn how to make money in today's
we probably
market.
have to figure out some way to accommodate that situation. So I'll just leave it at that.
Community to learn what it takes to make money in Houston. Visit richradio.org. That's RICH radio.org.
Investor loans offering up to 100% financing are still available.
Nikki, how much time do I have?
You have to know where to look.
Is it 1 minute or two?
No further than Noble Mortgage.
Hold on.
Noble Mortgage is a full-service mortgage company that's been helping investors since 2003. Noble Mortgage offers up to 100% financing to investors that covers purchase, repairs, and closing costs. In addition to private money, Noble Mortgage offers conventional loans, FHA, and even no-income documentation loans for both residential and commercial properties. Call and ask about our 5-point guarantee, which includes free pre-qualifications within 2 business days. Call 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com. Our team has over 50 years experience in the mortgage industry. Call us today, 713-680-8100, or visit us on the web, noblemoney.com, noblemoney.com.
NMLS 292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas, 77070.
The domestic litigation firm Cordell & Cordell has been the partner men can count on for over 25 years. Hello, my name's Joe Cordell. Over those years, tens of thousands of guys across America and now in the UK have turned to Cordell & Cordell when everything was on the line. We're proud of that expression of trust, but we know the responsibility that comes with it. Our tremendous growth is a result of our tremendous commitment to a core set of values and an obsession with client care. If we ever lose that
30
focus,
seconds.
we'll cease to be the partner that guys will count on.
So
we get that.
you're saying, but
So you
it's
can be
labeled
sure
house
that
buyers.
Our focus over the next 25 years will stay.
Yeah,
with
that's
those
wrong,
values
right?
That got us where
Yeah.
we are.
Okay,
Now,
I'll fix
I don't
that.
know if Jason actually came in and cut a Houston House
to
Buyers
schedule an appointment with one of their firm's
ad.
Texas attorneys. A partner men can
Oh,
count
maybe it
on.
was just labeled
Online at
that.
CordellCordell.com.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's CordellCordell.com.
I'll figure it out, but stand
Yeah.
by. Here we go.
All
right.
The Woodlands, St. Louis, and by appointment only in Sugar Land and League City.
This is Business 1110.
All right, Tom, hot mics in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. We're talking about finding deals, funding deals. It's also the mindset of running a business. You know, one of the things that we saw in real estate education when we were looking at it is, there's an extremely high failure rate. And one of the reasons why that is that most of real estate education is talking about how one person does a transaction from start to finish. And the problem is that's not teaching somebody how to run a business. And the reality is if you don't run, whether you're buy and hold, whether you're wholesaling, whether you're flipping, if you don't run it as a business, your chance of success goes down. In fact, even your chance of starting and being successful starting goes down. So when we started talking to some of the real estate gurus around the country and things like that, hey, or even industry insiders, what's the failure rate of people that sign up for classes and, or sign up for, guru that comes into town, signs up for a real estate education program, things like that. What's the success rate? Or more importantly, what's the failure rate? And the reality is it was shocking. I was shocked by the number. I mean, most experts that we talk about said that 95 to 98% of people that sign up for real estate education courses never do their first deal. And I was like, why is that? And I started analyzing the marketplace, and what I realized is when Jason and I started Houston House Buyers, we had a vision. And what we realized is that, if you could be the brand A in any marketplace, that's a great place to be. But if you could be the brand B, that's not a bad place to be. And so if you look at like soft drinks, most people would say, hey, Coca-Cola's brand A, Pepsi's brand B. You look at fast food, McDonald's is brand A, Burger King's brand B. If you look at used cars, my opinion, CarMax is brand A, Texas Direct Auto is brand B. Hey, would it be great to own CarMax? Yeah. Would it be great to own McDonald's? Yeah. Would it be great to own Coca-Cola? Yeah. But would it stink to own, Burger King or Pepsi or Texas Direct Auto? Of course not. And so what happens is that we looked around at our marketplace and said, hey, you know what? There's a national franchise company that does what we do. They're probably the only brand A. In fact, they're really the only person that has gone out there and actually branded themselves other than like, hey, Joe buys houses or, Bob buys houses or Frank buys houses or I buy houses or whatever it is, just, whatever or the, inevitable, the ultimate pinnacle real estate investment trust company, LLC, make it sound like it's some big national, Korean conglomerate or something like that. And, when it's just like one guy that's, working out of his, 10 by 10 area in his garage or something like that, that's, anyhow. So, and nothing wrong with that. But they, what we realize is in our marketplace, there's really not a brand B. So why not create that? So that was our vision when we started Houston Outspires, is we knew that we were going to grow beyond what either Jason and I could do by ourselves. Now, what that meant is we had to have a plan to be able to attract good quality talent, people that were 10s at what they did. And so there's a story that I've told before, and there's a friend of mine that I had. The guy's name is Monty. When I say friend, it wasn't like, we did vacations together, things like that. We played poker together. And yeah, I'm a poker player, and not a very good one. So invite me to your games. That's what every poker player says, I think. But anyhow, so this guy, he was actually a client of mine. For those of y'all who know my background, when I was in the insurance business, he was a health insurance client of mine. And so I met this guy, and he had owned this used car lot down in Rosenberg, just like a mom and pop used car lot that he ran for like 40 years. And man, the guy was just killing it back in the day. I mean, he had a private plane. I don't mean like a Learjet or anything like that, but he was a private pilot, Cessna. He owned his own plane. He used to, have a beach house and a lake house and a condo up in Colorado and a condo out in Vegas. He used to go to Vegas at least once a month, for a couple of days. I mean, all that kind of stuff. And I was playing poker with him one day, and I said, hey, how are things going for you? And by the way, this guy's passed away a couple of years ago, but the story's still relevant. And I said, how are things going for you? And he goes, well, they're not what they used to be. And I go, why is that? And he goes, well, the economy's changed and people's buying habits have changed. And, and he gave all these market reasons that were really outside of his control. And what I realized is he really hadn't changed. He was doing business pretty much the same way he was doing business 40 years earlier when he got started. And what was different is 40 years ago, all the other competitors were mom and pops just like him. So he could have a space in the marketplace like that. And it's not just the internet and all the other things that have come along since then that he wasn't up to speed on. It's that a company like CarMax came along and really systematized the process of the used car business. Because you think about when Monty goes to the auction and he's, drinking a cup of coffee and he's yucking it up with all his friends that he's been seeing there for the last 5 or 10 years. Hey, George. Hey, John, how you doing? How's the family? How's the wife and kids? All that kind of stuff. The CarMax guy, he's showing up at the auction also, and he's got an iPad, and he can see what's going on at the auction in Pennsylvania. He can see what's going on in the auction in Scottsdale. He can see what's going on in the auction in Portland, Oregon, and he can arbitrage vehicles from one place or another. In other words, he can say, hey, you know what? Trucks are selling for a whole lot less money in Pennsylvania than they are in Texas, because everybody loves Texas, trucks in Texas. People in Pennsylvania, they like Highline cars like Jaguars and Audis and things like that. Not that we don't like that here, but it's like, hey, trucks can sell for $20,000 there. He can buy a truck for $20,000, sell them for $24,000 here. He can buy a Jaguar for $30,000 here, sell it for $39,000 there. So the trucks are going back and forth, swapping the vehicles, buying low, selling high, right? That's the trick in the used car business. Monty can't do that. So the guy that's at the auction for CarMax, he's a 10 at that task. Monty's probably a 6 or 7 because he's been doing it for a while, right? He's pretty good at it, but he's above average, but he's not great at it because he doesn't have the tools to make him great. Then you think Monty drives all the cars back from the auction himself or with some of his buddies. He's the transportation department also. The auction guy doesn't start driving the vehicles back to CarMax. The transportation guy, the guy that drives the 18-wheeler, the guy that's got this, CDL, CHL, CDL, whatever, the commercial license, right? He's got the big 18-wheeler, the car park, right? He brings them back to the auction. Back to the car lot. What happens when they get to the car lot? A certified mechanic with all the latest tools and a very clean work area and all that. He brings the cars up to like near new car specs. Monty's the one turning the wrench at his place. Then when the cars go out to the lot, think about the inventory that CarMax has versus the inventory that Monty has. Think about the sales experience. You've got a professional sales guy, a guy wearing a golf shirt with the logo for the company on it. Monty's the guy selling the cars. Monty can't be great at everything. So think about this. Should the CarMax guy that is working as a mechanic, should he be the guy selling the cars? Or should the car sales guy be the guy being the mechanic? Because a little bit like math and English, if you're going to be a great mechanic, it's a possibility that you're going to be great in sales also, that you have that skill set, but that's rare. Normally the skill set, a little bit like left brain, right brain. Normally if you've got the skill set to be a great mechanic, you don't have the same communication skills that it takes to be a great salesperson, and vice versa. If you're a great salesperson, you're not typically going to have the skill set it takes to be a great mechanic. Are there exceptions to that? Yes, of course. Is that a hard and fast rule? No, it's not. But real estate education today, I see, teaches someone not how to be a CarMax. They teach you how to be a Monty. And the problem with that model is if you're a great sales guy and you're trying to learn, you're going to be probably a 2 or 3 at being a mechanic. And the reality is you're going to try and get to be a 4, 5, or 6 at a mechanic, and you're never going to be great at that step. And it's really hard. And so if you mentally are trying to work through that process of that first deal, that's where I feel like people typically get stuck, is that what ends up happening is they get to the point mentally, like let's say they start with marketing. They go, okay, I can start marketing. And the idea is, you either spend $5,000 to get a deal or you spend 60 hours. Okay, I can get my head around that. And then you can get your head around the contracts. And then you can get your head around, but it's like, what do I say? And then how do I evaluate the deal? How do I evaluate the rehab? How do I, work with the contractors? How do I find a good contractor? I mean, there's so many moving parts of this that at some point in time you go, okay, I can get from a 6 or 7 to an 8 or 9 at this step. And then I can get to an 8 or 9 at this other step. But I'm a 2 or 3 at this step, and all I can get to is a 4 or 5, and I don't feel comfortable doing it at that skill level, so you just quit. And so instead of finding somebody else to partner with on that or to outsource that step, people just quit. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like there's such a high failure rate, is that no one teaches you how to. Now, that's in addition to all the stuff that people are talking about that I think, in my opinion, are just crazy nonsense. The people that are buying Class C properties at 7 caps right now because, it's going to be even more tomorrow and the next day. All you do is, just manage it better and improve the rental rates and just sell it in 3 to 5 years for more money. I mean, you're watching, doors on multifamily go from $20,000 a door to $30,000 a door to $40,000 a door to, I went to an event weekend before last up in Dallas, and people were paying $69,000 a door for what I would have considered a B minus C plus property that they're pushing towards a B, but you're talking about $69,000 a door. Even if it's a good solid B, that is, it's never been that high. It's at the top of the market right now. So when you look at, if you were to draw, a curve, a supply and demand market curve or a market cycle curve where you got the ups and downs of the market, I think we're at the top of the market. Or you have people that are teaching you how to buy foreclosures or teaching you how to buy HUD homes. If you're trying to buy HUD homes in Texas, what a tough way to buy. Or teaching you how to do short sales. Now, have those methods worked in the past? Yeah, absolutely. Monty had methods that worked in the past that don't work today. And if you're not out there actively doing deals, and I don't want to throw anybody in the bus, but there's a lot of gurus that come into town from Florida. They come in from Kansas City. Or there's even local guys right here in Houston that are teaching how to do buy and hold single-family deals, and they personally haven't done a deal in more than 20 years. That's crazy because they're teaching you, just go on MLS and find this great deal, and you're going to be, $0 to $5,000 out of pocket. You go to their case study night, and again, I'm not naming any names, but you go to their case study nights, and they're looking for case studies from 2010, 2011, 2012. It's like, that is not today's market. The 2010, 2011, 2012 market is not the same as it is today. In fact, the market today in 2016 is not the same market that it was last year in 2015. And the 2015 market was not the same as the 2014 market. I'm getting excited. So, hope you're enjoying the show. We got to go to a break. We are a call-in show. I forgot to tell, we're Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817, 713-785-1817. Give us a call.
Mic's off.
Are you a realtor or seller that is concerned?
I'm getting fired up today, folks.
And closing on time? I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer at Legacy Mutual Mortgage, and we have mastered the 30-day close. We close on time, accurately,
yeah, Ginger, you certainly didn't.
Of communication.
And you're right, they don't even mention a business plan. What they teach you is how to create this conglomeration of, entities that you need this LLC and this LLC, and you got to pay your kids out of so that you can. It's like, oh my God, just learn learn how to
Realty
do a
Investment
freaking
Club
deal.
of Houston
I mean,
has
is all
brought
that
more
important
real
if you're
estate
doing,
investors
you
than
know,
any other
100 deals a
program in the
year?
state.
Yeah, I mean,
Come
it can
check us out
help
at
reduce your tax burden and all
richradio.org.
that's important, but
If
it's
you're
not
considering learning
necessary
how
to get
invest in real
started.
estate, then richradio.org
And so, you know what
is
they
the
say
quickest
is if
way
you
to
can't
learn how to
dazzle them
make
with
money in the
brilliance, baffle
Houston
them with,
market.
you know
We're not just
the rest.
another
So.
guru-driven club. We're a community of Houston's most successful real estate investors. Join our community to learn what it takes to make money in Houston. Visit richradio.org. That's RICH, radio.org.
Rehab loans, conventional loans, FHA, and no-income documentation loans can seem scary unless you have the right mortgage company to guide you through the process. Since 2003, Noble Mortgage has been helping investors just like you. Whether rehabbing houses, buying your first home, rental, or commercial property, Noble Mortgage offers up to 100%.
So, Nikki, what game are you playing?
Call Noble Mortgage at 713-680-8100 or visit noblemoney.com. That's noblemoney.com.
NMLS
Nikki.
292143, 8203 Willow Place Drive, Houston, Texas 77070.
Real estate investors, if you're not familiar with Quest IRA, let me tell you what you're missing.
Well, Facebook folks, I don't know if you know, but we got a new CPU or new computer to be able to broadcast. Our old computer, our CPU was operating at like 99% most of the time. That's why we were kind of getting glitchy and things like that. But now we're operating at like 50%. So hopefully it's, I don't know if y'all can tell a difference in terms of audio quality or video quality or anything like that. But
or visit our website
hopefully you can tell a difference.
questira.com.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832-742-9992 or reach us on the web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of single-family investment properties, whether it's a flip rehab or a rental rehab. We manage every aspect of a rehab from start to finish with a highly efficient, standardized process.
Over the last 5 years,
for 20K, she got a pic with the people and their cell phone number. That was it. Oh my God, that's crazy.
Use a detailed scope of work so that everything gets done. Train and maintain quality crews so it gets done right.
Well, next thing we're going to do is we're going to start broadcasting in HD quality.
No more managing it yourself.
We're going to get like a 4K camera, and but we need a separate video card just to process the video as it uploads.
742-9992. Again, that's 832-742-9992.
Thanks, Phil.
Or on the web.
Is it the audio better, the video that's better, or both?
Michael
or is it just smoother?
President of Health Markets. Health Markets is trying to make this crazy Medicare system easier to understand. Would you explain how it works?
So Health Markets offers a free service with access to thousands of Medicare plans nationwide to help folks maximize their benefits and save their money. Enrollment in the right plan is not automatic. With so many Medicare options
30
out
seconds.
there, it can be confusing. So my advice is to don't go to
Hey,
one,
Nikki.
get unbiased help to help find a plan.
So what game are you playing?
Less. It may cover more.
I was
lower
watching
co-payments,
videos.
more choices
Oh,
like
okay.
dental and vision
YouTube?
care, and the freedom to see the doctors
Vivo.
you choose. Best of all, Medicare assistance.
Vivo?
Our licensed agents can do
What's
the
Vivo?
work for you, making the process
it's videos.
really easy.
Yeah,
Medicare
Vivo?
enrollment deadline is only weeks
Vivo.
away, so
Mm.
it's important to act now.
Call Health
It's not a porn thing, is it?
For your free Medicare assistance,
No.
call
I'm just playing with you.
800-246-3290. That's
All right, stand by.
800-246-3290. 800-246-3290.
This
All right,
is
hot
business.
Hey,
mics in
Erica.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. Right Path Real Estate Radio, 713-785-1817. I can't believe no one has a question. I've been on the phone or on the air for 40 minutes now. 32 minutes actually with two breaks. So give us a call, 713-785-1817. Tell you about a typical day. So yesterday went to the real estate event, saw lots of great folks, had a decent meal. You know, saw Eddie and Johnny and all the guys from Renter's Warehouse. I mean, just some great folks. And then the other thing that I did right before that, we actually just we bought a house for $110,000 that we started a $90,000 rehab, and so we in fact hopefully soon we're going to have a foundation company as a vendor sponsor. But the property started with foundation work. The roof's going to get started tomorrow. I'm meeting an architect out there on Friday because we're going to redo how the master bath suite area is going to be, laid out. We've got this. It's a 5-bedroom house that I don't think it's going to be any less valuable if it's a 4-bedroom versus a 5-bedroom. I think it's going to be more valuable if I reduced it from a 5 to a 4 and use that 5th bedroom area. It's there's 2 bedrooms downstairs, the master and another one, and I think I can use that front bedroom as to enlarge the master bath and create a larger closet, because I think all people today like larger closets. I mean, and when the house was built 45 years ago, most people didn't have very large closets, and so the master closet is really it's all along one side of the wall. It's not very big. So walked the house yesterday about that, and then we also have a house down in Sugar Land that the foundation work is going to start tomorrow, and then no roof work there, but are going to need to have a plumber or a drainage specialist to come out. The way the house is designed, it's got some funky drainage, causing some erosion around the house. That's causing some foundation problems, and then it's also causing some issues around the driveway in front of the garage and all that kind of stuff. So that's the kind of stuff that I don't typically deal with very often, but I was the one that actually contracted on these 2 properties. We have a great acquisition team, but every now and then I get involved in buying a house. And so it just keeps us relevant, so that we know what's going on a day in and day out basis. Keeps us working with the contractors. In this case, I'm overseeing the foundation and the roof work. But then after that, it's going to be handed over to Fast Track. They do that also, but because of the timing on when the crews could start and things like that, I decided I'd manage that outside of their scope of work. But we're still going to be doing about a $75,000 or $80,000 rehab just with Fast Track, not counting the roof and the foundation. So they're going to make the house look fantastic. And what's cool is here we are. This is probably our 280th house or something like that since we got started. And our house number 2 was the same square footage, and with a few minor details, is the exact same house as what we did as house number 2. So it's interesting when you start doing enough houses, you start seeing, builders that built the same or similar floor plan in another, part of the city. In this case, it was probably these 2 houses are maybe 400 yards as the crow flies. And but one's on one side of Briar Forest, the other one's on the other side of Briar Forest, north and south, for example. And but I think that's kind of cool when you start seeing things, come up again and again and again. And it's experience. And here's the thing, how do you get an experience riding a bike? You don't get it from a book, you get it from doing it. Now, most people have a dad or a mom that, held the seat, held their hand, so to speak, and, kind of showed them how to do it first and was there to catch them if they, were to fall and pick them up, pick up their scraped knee, because chances are you're going to scrape your knee when you're learning how to ride a bike. And guess what? When you start a business, it's not uncommon that you're going to scrape your knee, so to speak, figuratively speaking. And so wouldn't it be great if you had somebody that's been there, done that, that's going to, pick you up, because they can't prevent you from scraping your knee. Now, they can say if you do these things, you're going to reduce your likelihood, because like my daughter, when I was helping her learn how to ride a bike, it's crazy. She did not do the typical get to the end of the driveway and then, stop and then fall over to the side and scrape her knee. I mean, she took off. She never fell off. And now, has she fallen off since? Yes. But that first day that she was riding, she went, we started at the bottom of the driveway instead of up at the top of the driveway so that she could just ride on the street. We live on this cul-de-sac that there's no traffic. It doesn't go to anywhere, so it's not a through street or anything like that. So she was able to just drive round and round and round this cul-de-sac and didn't have any problems. And so, when I let go of the seat, she didn't even know that I'd let go, and she just took off riding and never fell. I mean, isn't that a great experience as a first time learning how to ride a bike? Now, eventually she's going to fall, right? I mean, I don't know of anybody that's made it to 20 years old and never fallen on a bike. I mean, in fact, Jason's an experienced bike rider. He rides, and he rides for a cycling team. I think it's the St. Arnold cycling team. And, so he does a lot of riding. And, he was telling me just recently that, he was riding in this ride and his pedal stuck. He's got one of those, cycling shoes that clips onto the pedal, and it stuck on the wrong side, and he got off balance, and he couldn't put his foot down, so he just boom, he just, hit pretty hard, and he hit on his hip and on his shoulder, and here he is at, obviously beyond 30, and falling off a bike. I mean, you're like, dude, you're 30 years old, you're falling off a bike. Yes, it still happens. So, it's not like you're going to make money on every single deal. The question is, are you going to know how to minimize the damage And then are you going to know how to extricate yourself from it and move on to the next deal? You know, it's okay if a deal goes south and it knocks you down as long as it doesn't knock you out. And that's the key thing is you need to find somebody that's been there, done that knows how to do it, that's done it recently, not somebody that's done it 20 years ago. Not somebody that's talking about what was happening in 2010, 11, 12, 13. I mean, not people that are teaching how to do short sales. Are there short sales out there? Yes. But can you build a business model out of short sales? No. I mean, we just did a short sale 2 weeks ago. So they do exist. But guess what? In all the 200 plus properties that we've done, that's the first one we've ever done. And we don't have another one in the pipeline because they're like white elephants. They do exist, but they're so rare. I mean, in this marketplace, they used to happen. I mean, I know people, in fact, the people that created RealFlow, for those of y'all who don't know the background of RealFlow, the people that created RealFlow, it was created internally for their own need to track the whole short sale process. They were in the short sale business up in the Cleveland, Ohio marketplace. And they built all of RealFlow to keep track of the laborious conversations that have to take place with all the different parties that are involved in a short sale process. And that's why RealFlow was created. And since then, it's been modified and adjusted, and it does a lot more stuff and things like that. But that's the whole reason why it was created. So short sales, I mean, they used to do like 30, 40 of them a month. I mean, they were killing it in short sales. But guess what? Guess how many they're doing now? None. I mean, the same thing. There was a guy that came to a big expo that was in town this past year, and he was teaching how to do HUD foreclosure sales. Like, oh man, you can kill it in HUD foreclosures. I'm like, dude, what are you smoking? It just does not exist here. Oh, well, it happens in, these other. I'm like, I want to market near where I am. Do I know people that are marketing successfully outside of their local area? Yes. I just bought a first house sight unseen up in Dallas, and we contracted a property in Dallas. And so you don't have to be in the same market, but I have to tell you, it's easier to market close to where you are, especially when you're first getting started, because to try and buy a property when you've got no experience, sight unseen, that's you're adding a whole new level. Can Tillman Fertitta, can he go out and start a restaurant in a marketplace he's never been in before and be successful? Yes. If it's your first restaurant, is that going to be likely? No, it's not. So I think that's a more advanced strategy to be able to do that outside of your own market. Is that where I'd recommend that you start? Now, if you've got somebody that's doing it, crushing it right now, that's doing it that way, that wants to teach you how to do that, then that might be a different story. I mean, Tillman Fertitta wanted to take a brand new person underneath their wing and teach him how to open up a restaurant, in St. Louis. When you live in Houston, yeah, does that increase your odds of success? Of course it does. But would I recommend you opening up a restaurant in St. Louis when you live in Houston and you've never opened a restaurant before and Tillman's not helping you out? No, I don't recommend that, folks. I really don't.
2 minutes.
Especially when you say, and I've got no money and I've got no credit and I've got no job and I want to kill it. I'm going to become a millionaire in the restaurant business. I mean, is it possible? I mean, I don't want to be a dream stealer, but I'm also a realist. I'm a very practical, realistic kind of guy. And so do I think it's going to be likely? I mean, if I were laying down odds in Vegas, like for your success or failure, I'm betting on the fail. I mean, I'm betting large numbers on the fail. So does that mean that you're absolutely guaranteed to fail? I mean, what I've learned in life is very few things are absolutely guaranteed. Other death and taxes, right? That's absolutely guaranteed. Other than that, I don't know too many things that are absolutely guaranteed. So here's the thing. We're going to be putting on a free event. It's going to happen in January. It's either going to be the 5th or the 9th. So block out both of those dates on your calendar, and that's going to be a lot of great free information. So if you want free information other than just on the radio show, if you want to see us in person, plan on blocking out January 5th and January 9th, and then one of those days is going to be our free event, and it's going to be in Houston, Texas. So we've got a caller. So who's our caller, and where's he calling from?
Glinda from Katy. Do you want to go to commercial and then take Glinda? Or?
Yeah, I'll do that. Let's take a break now. We'll go in a little bit early. You're listening to Right Path Real Estate Radio. The phone number is 713-785-1817.
Mic's off.
All right, thanks. Training wheels. Yeah.
Are you looking for an investor-friendly general contractor for your investment property? Then call Fast Track Remodeling at 832.
So Bruce, does it still do that?
Linda, and she's from Katie.
Okay.
FYI.
Or
Okay,
reach
cool,
us on the
thanks.
web at fasttrackremodeling.com.
Fast Track Remodeling specializes in turnkey remodeling of
Phil, trying
single-family
to.
investment properties, whether it's a flip, rehab, or a rental rehab. No more managing it yourself. No more doing the work yourself. Fast Track Remodeling really does manage it all.
So give us a call today at 832-742-9992.
Did you know that there are over $24 trillion in
Excuse me.
retirement accounts in the U.S.?
Sorry, guys, about the coughing and all that. We don't have a cough button in here. And allergies have been just kicking my tail. I slept about, gosh, I don't know, maybe 30 hours this past weekend just getting caught up.
They can be used to invest in real estate, promissory notes, private entities, and much more. Many of our clients loan money from their IRAs to fund real estate deals all over the country. We don't sell any investments or give advice. However, we do hold free networking events.
Hey, Nikki, you said it was Gail from Katie?
And free consultations with an IRA specialist. For more information, visit our website at
Nikki watching a video again.
or call us at 1-855
Nikki's the best.
IRAs to tap into the $24
You said,
trillion
Yeah.
in retirement
Can you hear me?
in the U.S.
Did you say it was Gail from Katie?
Glenda.
Oh, Glenda. I was like, I don't think Gail sounds right. So what kind of videos are you watching?
Music videos.
Uh-huh.
Than any other program in
That's
the
what you call them,
state.
huh?
Come check us out
Okay.
at richradio.org. If you're considering learning how to invest in real estate, then richradio.org is the quickest way to learn how to make money in the Houston market. We're not just another guru-driven club. We're a community of Houston's most successful real estate investors. Join our community to learn what it takes to make money in Houston. Visit richradio.org. That's R-I-C-H, radio.org.
Are you expecting to close accurately, on time, and with lots of communication on your home purchase? You've come to the right place. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, Senior Loan Officer with Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Our goal is to give our borrowers and referral partners an amazing experience during the loan process. My team believes in putting people and culture before results. Our company concentrates on building those teams who operate with structure, process, and recognition for going the extra mile for you. This way, we have the energy to make this your best home purchase ever. Give us a call today to find out the simple steps to get started. I'm Jennifer Hernandez, the Hernandez team at Legacy Mutual Mortgage. Jennifer.legacymutual.com or call 713-579-3611. Again, Jennifer.legacymutual.com. We can't wait to consult with you soon. NMLS 514497.
Equal Housing Opportunity Lender. NMLS 514497.
Get ready, get set. Game-changing radio is here. Business Newsmakers Radio with me, Lou Guarino. Every show, we bring you the hottest business newsmakers from all over the globe. Our newsmakers share their views on what made them so successful and how you can benefit from their expertise. I don't use fluffy fillers or word salads. No way, man. I hit them hard with questions that will give you something powerful to make a difference in your business today. The secrets of success are with me, Lou Guarino, right here on Business Newsmakers Radio.
Join Lou Guarino for Business Newsmakers Radio Mondays at 3 on Business 1110 KTEK.
Did you know that 63%
30
of
seconds.
homes contain allergens from cockroaches? And that mice spread potent asthma triggers found in 82% of homes? It's true. Common household pests are major offenders on the list of indoor allergens. Learn what you can do to help your family breathe easier. Visit pestworld.org. A public service message from the National Pest Management Association.
All right, Tom, stand
and
by.
the
All right.
and Allergy Foundation of America.
This is
Hot
Business
mics in 5,
1110.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, Right Path Real Estate Radio. This is our shortest segment. We have a caller, Glenda from Katy. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, Glenda.
I enjoy your show every day.
Oh, thanks.
I do have a question for you though. We've had a few sellers call us where whether it's a buy and hold or a flip type of deal, and wondered what you would do in a situation where they owe more money, especially on FHA, than what you can offer.
Yeah, can you give me a real world example? So, like, what do you think the house is worth?
So the ARV in that area, that house, the ARV through comps is about 173. But even if in this particular example, for 85% of the ARV minus repairs, it comes to like 107, but they owe 130, and it's an FHA loan. So I didn't know if there was creative strategies, if there's ways to work that where you don't lose the deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and it depends. Are they behind on their mortgage also?
No, they're not.
They're current.
They're current on their mortgage, but they can't afford to make the repairs.
Yeah.
They want out of the house.
How much of the repairs would you say?
It's about $45,000.
And do you know what their monthly payment is?
I don't.
Okay.
But I know rents in there are about $1,400.
About $1,400 on rents. So here's the thing: is you'd have to find out what their monthly payment is, and the only opportunity there is on a subject to deal, and you buy the property with the existing financing in place. And that's going to be because chances are their mortgage rate's going to be lower as a owner occupant of the home is going to be lower as an interest rate than it is if you were buying it as an investor. And so what we like about that strategy is that it puts the long-term financing, 30-year financing in place already. So you buy it from them subject to. So you're taking over the deed of the property, but you're leaving their financing in place. And then you can sell it either. Yeah.
How can they get their next loan if they still have that loan in their name?
So I want to answer that question, and if we'd called earlier in the show, I can do that. But the problem is that's a lengthy topic. I need about 5 minutes, and I've got like a minute and a half. So the long and the short of it is that they only have a couple of different options. Either they can retail list it, in which case it's not a deal for an investor. And this is where I feel like that it's hard to market just for subject twos. It's that you have to know how the strategy works. It's like, when people typically learn subject to, then they see every single deal through the lens of the subject to strategy. And really what it is, it's like a tool in the toolbox. And the way I describe it is, it's like that tool that you use it's got an orange handle and it's kind of long and almost like a hot dog wiener shape, and because it's long and it's round, and it's for undoing the nut on the bottom of a kitchen sink for the faucet, and it's a tool made for that specific thing. And you're going to have a tough time finding another use for that tool other than that one thing. But if you don't have that tool and you're trying to change a kitchen faucet, it's hard to do. But with that tool, it makes it really, really easy. And so subject to is a strategy you need to learn for this type of situation. And it's not going to work in every situation, and it may not work in this particular situation, but you need to know how to present it to the seller, because the reality is most people get in this situation because they haven't lived in that house for very long. And so they made a very bad decision. So they're oftentimes not looking to go out and buy another house right away anyway. And so by the time they're ready to buy a house, which is going to be like 2 or 3 years from now, then this property will still show up on their credit, but it shows up as a pass-through because they're going to have good credit because the payments are being made on time, but it's not going to be made by them. So they're going to be able to show, when they show their bank statements, like this mortgage is being paid, but it's not being paid by us. And when they can show a 2 or 3 year track record, it's almost as if, now I'm not a credit expert or anything like that. I mean, I know a lot about credit just from our experiences, things like that, but it shouldn't count against them once enough time has passed where somebody else is making that mortgage. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So it won't allow them to go out and do it right away. But what I assume what you're saying is keeping them from selling at retail right now is that it's basically worth $175,000 or $173,000, and they own it. They owe $130,000 and it needs $45,000 in repairs. What's the most significant thing that needs to be repaired in order to get the house retail ready?
20 seconds.
The roof. Replacing wood on
the
outside and interior floors and doors.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so we're running out of time. That's a great question. If you want to call back, I'll be back on the show next Tuesday. If you want to talk about it then, we can do that. Right Path Real Estate Radio. Jason will be in the studio tomorrow. Have a great evening. All right, thanks, Facebook folks. Hope you enjoyed the show.
Bye, Tom. Have a good day.
Bye, Nikki. You too. Jason will be here tomorrow.
That impact us right here in the Bayou City. Remember the afternoon drive with me, Chris.
Oh, not able to hear caller. I'm sorry.
Right here on Business 1110 KTEK.
Sorry.